We are delighted to welcome to the show Commissioner Greg Sankey from his office with some interesting news that came out earlier today. Commissioner, thank you very much. It's great to have you back with us. And I do want to, we briefly mentioned the statement that came out of the SEC office in relation to the distribution today, and certainly I think we'd all like to hear you discuss it, and certainly we understand the difficulty of the past year, but I'm really curious about how you came to this conclusion and what it all means.
Yeah, you go back to like this week last year, Paul, it just dawned on me today. We were debating and actually deciding this week last year when student athletes would return to voluntary activities, reopen the weight room. So that was like that week's big decision. But in the midst of all of our preparation and planning, we were trying to understand the financial impact upon our programs. Obviously, I had bigger picture conversations about the realities around our universities. Universities are incredibly healthy. But we learned the range of revenue projections to be lost. We adjusted our operations in this office to reduce our expenditures, look to maximize the outflow of revenue to support our programs, and then had to think creatively. And a lot of discussion about what we could or couldn't do, what we should or shouldn't do. You always want to be in a position of strength as you're making decisions, and really almost a year-long process brought us to the announcement today of the ability to access some funds that give us the opportunity to send supplemental revenue to our campuses to support the great work they do.
And I know there's still a lot of challenges to get through the next few weeks for everyone. It seems like COVID is almost over. It's not going to leave our mindset because it's hard to. But this seems like one more moment that helps us turn the page, does it not?
Well, it does. In relative to the financial support of our universities, I had a phone conversation today with Craig Skinner, who won the volleyball national championship, leading Kentucky National Coach of the Year. And I use that as a moment to say we've supported excellence throughout, whether it's been testing programs, the support of our student athletes. We were literally deciding last year on this return to activities, but all along the way providing mental health support, academic support. We weren't selling tickets at that time, and still trying to meet the obligations to support, educate, and care for young people. And as we think about COVID still being with us, I went to our staff and asked, how many of our baseball teams are still in testing protocols? And some of our teams are vaccinated, and some of our team members are fully vaccinated in baseball, but we're still going through testing protocols that we've established with a third-party provider. We will continue to do so through our baseball tournament, and then start to pivot to next year, campus-based testing. The encouragement around vaccinations is going to become more and more real. The removal of last year's COVID competition protocols, where it's, hey, let's play, let's stay healthy, and avoid contact tracing, and the vaccine is going to be an important part of that effort to return towards normal for the fall.
And it just seems like, especially with the CDC last week recommending the mask mandate, and as you have said, and many have said, it's up to individual municipalities and areas. But how do you take that in relation to what you just got through saying? And I know you've said it many times. You did public service a couple weeks ago, but how do you keep driving that point home to people in relation to the importance of vaccination versus where we've been?
We're actually working on more communication efforts from our office as the Southeastern Conference as we look towards the fall, emphasizing the importance of the vaccine and returning to normal. And I think I probably said to you, I've been vaccinated. It was, last time we spoke, I had the baseball cap on and was at a golf tournament. Today I'm in a shirt and tie in the office, so the golf was a lot more fun. But I want to be that example. I think many of our coaches and leaders are providing that example, and there's a constant reminder. And Paul, if you look at last season, to be really clear, when we had to reschedule games, sure, we may have had a few positive COVID tests among a team's population, but if we could have had every healthy individual still able to compete, we wouldn't have had to reschedule games. And that becomes pretty quickly about contact tracing. And we know, working with our medical task force, we can avoid that contact tracing reality by having people vaccinated at high levels across the entire athletic program, across the entirety of a team. I can't communicate any more clearly. In fact, what I've suggested is to our student athletes, to our coaches groups, as we conduct meetings virtually, don't rely on popular media for your information about the vaccine. We have medical experts who aren't looking to make headlines, who deal with the science and the realities every day. They've helped develop a curriculum that will educate your teams, your student athlete, yourselves about the value, the efficacy, the safety of the vaccine, and take advantage of that, because that helps us get back to the normal. And remember, we haven't experienced a normal academic and competitive year since 2018, 2019. We like to think this has only affected us for a year, and I say only, which is a great minimizer. The reality is we've not had a normal athletic year since the 2018, 2019 academic year, competitive year. I'd like 21, 22 to be a return towards normal again, but we all share in that responsibility.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.